My goodness, this weekend has had an average level of interesting news. Nvidia was apparently setting people's computers on actual literal fire, which may or may not have given you some new use for your liquid cooling. Some big shot journalists got in trouble with Twitter for saying PC was the best platform for gaming, which I thought was an odd thing for him to get in trouble for, because I thought everyone was in agreement on that like 5 seconds ago. But the news that I'm going to talk about in this video is this little bit of sales data, because it was not only interesting, but it also provoked a bunch of chronically online PlayStation fanboys to start crying and peeing their pants because it once again challenged their Sony God complex that they're holding on to for literally no reason, because apparently Sony is this wonderful, gracious, all-powerful company to them. Meanwhile, in the real world, Sony can't figure out which games people actually want to be remastered on that Pro console they charge you $700 for, but I digress. So the other day, some new sales numbers came out for the US, because it's that time of the month again, and revealed that Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, yes, I'm calling it Remake Part 2 because I have a brain and some semblance of respect for number titling in video games, that after 7 Remake Part 2 had a bit of a disappointing PS5 launch, the Steam launch, which happened in this period of sales charts that was recorded, shot it all the way to being the number 3 best-selling game in the entire country during this time period, which is very interesting to me. It once again backs up the idea that Square Enix has been pushing for months now, this notion that they're done with platform exclusivity, that they pretty openly regret signing an exclusive deal with PlayStation, because obviously PlayStation numbers are not enough to sustain them, especially not for gigantic games like Final Fantasy, which have a huge reach, a huge multi-platform audience, and a presumably pretty gigantic budget. I never understood the idea behind taking a multi-platform franchise and making it exclusive to one platform, especially when that one platform wasn't even the platform that this franchise was originally exclusive to. Like, it'd be one thing if the franchise started out as PlayStation exclusive, then went multi-platform, and then went back to being PlayStation exclusive. That would still be stupid, because this is still a third-party exclusive franchise for some stupid reason. Regular viewers of my channel know that I think console exclusivity is just a stupid concept and such an anti-consumer concept on its own, but third-party console exclusivity? Let me put on my ass-kicking boots and kick you in the ass, because that's even stupider than a first-party console exclusive. But turning Final Fantasy, one of the biggest, most iconic franchises in the world, turning that into a PlayStation exclusive franchise, I would say is one of the top 10 dumbest things the gaming industry has actually tried to do over the last decade, and I am glad that era is over, and this should be all the evidence you need to confirm that nobody was benefiting from this, especially not Square Enix. This should be all the evidence you need that the era of console exclusivity is just over. It's outdated, it is unproductive, it is unhelpful, it is unartistic, it is anti-consumer, and I am glad that we are slowly but surely doing away with it. But obviously not everyone feels that way. Obviously, there's plenty of PlayStation fanboys out there who saw this news and just started exploding because, God forbid, someone points out that maybe they don't actually buy games at the rate that they like to say they do. Like, you hear all the time from PlayStation guys how like PlayStation exclusives, they're good, dude. PlayStation exclusives are so good. They make so much money for Sony. Sony's so good at all these things. There's so many PlayStation gamers. It's the best platform. PlayStation killed all the other platforms, and it's the best platform with all the people. And then low sales numbers come out, and they just have no answer to it. Or a previously PlayStation exclusive game goes multi-platform and does really well on other platforms, and they just have nothing logical to say about it. They have things to say about it, and we're gonna read some of them, but I just always found that funny, that PlayStation dudes like openly encourage other platforms to be gone. They want Xbox to be gone. They want PC ports to stop. They openly want PlayStation to be a complete monopoly over the industry, but then when they are confronted with hard evidence that not everyone wants to be on the PlayStation, not even close to everyone wants to be on the PlayStation, they just have no answer to it. And because they have no answer to it, they just start crying everywhere. Because, God forbid, people play on a platform that isn't PlayStation. So we're going to go through some of the responses to this IGN post. And put your hazmat suits on. Put on your scuba goggles over the hazmat suit. Get an extra oxygen tank in your hazmat suit. because this one's bad. PlayStation dudes have a really weird, like, sense of loyalty and pride to the fact that Final Fantasy was exclusive, which I just think is funny, because first of all, it's not their franchise. Like, it's a third-party franchise. It was multi-platform up until 5 seconds ago. So, not sure why you're so proud of it. But also, the PS5 exclusive Final Fantasy games have consistently underperformed. So, like, are you that proud of this franchise being exclusive? Because you're not buying it. That's why we're in this situation. Ronan says this game sold 3 to 4 million copies on PS5 and 300k on PC, laughing emoji. This is just the usual cheap tabloid trash headline we get from IGN. Desperate for the $5 engagement this post brings. So apparently it's cheap tabloid trash to point out that Square Enix was disappointed by the PS5 sales, which is objectively true, and then to also point out that the Steam launch shot the game back up to number 3 on the charts, which is also objectively true. The point that IGN is making here is not that the game outsold the PS5 on the PC. They never say that. What they're saying is that the game underperformed on the PS5 compared to Square Enix's expectations, and that after that underperformance, the delayed PC launch ended up doing extremely financially well, which should point out that maybe they shouldn't be doing exclusives, because obviously there is a big community for this game on the PC. There's a big potential audience for this game on PC. If they had launched the game on PC and allowed the PC to be involved with the hype campaign, maybe they wouldn't have been disappointed by the sales. That's the point that IGN is making. I can't believe I'm defending IGN over here because you guys can't fucking read. We're talking about a chart, like a comparative chart, not total sales, a comparative chart. And the fact that a delayed PC launch managed to push this game all the way up to number 3 in the country, that should be a very important piece of, like, information for Square Enix to be paying attention to. This should hammer home the fact that exclusivity in the current age is just stupid, especially third-party exclusivity. Oh, we gotta make the game exclusive so it sells more, but then it comes out on another platform and it sells excellently, despite coming out late, despite having poor marketing, despite being overpriced for its age. It still sold really well compared to everything else that was out at the time. You're gonna see a lot of people in this thread try to dismiss everything based on, like, exact sales numbers, like saying that this information somehow doesn't matter because we don't have exact sales numbers, which I always think is funny, because these are the same people that will take these sales charts and be like, look at all the PlayStation games in the sales charts. But if you point out a non-PlayStation game in the sales charts, they'll be like, yeah, but what are the exact numbers? It's like, do charts matter or not? Can we brag about charts or not? You guys can't have it both ways. You gotta pick one. Either charts without sales numbers matter, or they don't. Craig Jenkins says, I was told by multiple ponies that this game would not sell well on PC and should have stayed exclusive to their precious white box. Rudy, with the God of War profile picture, responds, it sold better on PS5 in the first 5 days. They don't post numbers here. Number 3 doesn't say any numbers, lol. Yeah, it sold better in its release window because the release window had better marketing. You see how that works? The PC version still sold really well without the big marketing push, without the launch hype, without launching into a pre-spoiler world. You see how that works? You see how maybe if they want to maximize these numbers even more, they should go day and date? Like, game sells well on the PlayStation alone. Then it sells well months later on the PC without all the advantages that the PlayStation version had. Maybe you should launch both versions at the same time then. Maybe this should be an argument for day and date. Maybe exclusives are stupid. Also, ironically, you know what previously console exclusive games sold really well on PC? Fucking God of War! At PlayStation Yes R says, funny, Final Fantasy shot to number 1 when it launched on PlayStation. Again, so do charts matter or not? Do charts matter or not? Are we dismissing the charts because, oh, it was number 1 on the charts when it was on PlayStation, but it's only number 3 on PC, so it couldn't have been disappointing before. There's no numbers attached to the charts. Okay, I'll remember you said that next time a PlayStation game is at, like, number 4 or number 5 on the charts, and you guys are like, look at the PlayStation game, it's still charting after all these months. I saw people doing that this weekend. People like, haha, still in the charts after all this time. PlayStation fanboys will use charts when they feel like it and then dismiss charts when they feel like it. And it makes no sense because you have no reasoning for either use or not use. PlayStation game is at the top of the charts and you're like, man, look at those charts. That's awesome. Charts are a great representation of success. Then a non-PlayStation game is on the charts and you're like, wait, what are the numbers? Gotta see those numbers. It's just a chart position compared to other games. That doesn't mean it was actually successful. Gotta see the numbers. Then a PlayStation game's in the charts and you're like, ooh, look at the chart. It's just like, it's so predictable. It's so stupid. You're not even trying anymore. Okay, Charlie says this is a straight up lie, lol. It only sold 500K on Steam while on PlayStation it sold 3 million. So it's not a lie. It's not a lie. It's a chart. You see what we're doing here? You see what they're trying to do? It's so stupid. It's so low effort. It sold 3 million on PlayStation, 500K on Steam. The whole thing's a lie. My boy, it's a chart. It is a chart. It is a comparative chart of what's being bought compared to what else is being bought. And in this period of time, Final Fantasy sold better than all but 2 other things. That is wild. That is extremely strong sales. Because numbers aside, numbers not aside, number 3 on the charts means there is a very strong audience. It means there is a hold on stuff like this. It means there is interest in this franchise regardless of age, regardless of platform. Final Fantasy comes to PC and it shoots itself up to only being outsold by 2 other games. In the US market, do you have any idea how big the US video game market is? And it outsold everything except 2 other things, all because it launched on PC. Interesting. Very interesting stuff. Oh wait, no, PlayStation though. PlayStation sold 3 million. So none of it matters. None of it matters. None of it matters. Which also, hang on a second, weren't the PlayStation guys the same guys saying that Starfield's numbers were bad? But now 3 million on the PlayStation is good? Just something to, simmer on your brain. Keep the heat on low. Keep that one cooking in there. Nadav says that is just a straight up lie. The game moved more copies than Final Fantasy 16, which did 3 million in 6 days on PS5 alone, while barely 600K on Steam in a month. Again, we're not talking about numbers. We're talking about a chart. A chart. Also, everyone knows the PC is more of a long-term sales platform than the consoles are. Like that's just the way it is. Single player games sell more long term on PC than they do on other platforms. So if the game is starting off this strong on the PC, just imagine how that's going to look in like 6 months, 7 months, as positive word of mouth spreads, as sales come by. And again, think of what those numbers would look like if you included the PC in the launch hype and then let the long-term sales trickle in. This is not rocket science. This isn't hard to understand. You sell more copies if you put the game on more platforms and allow more platforms to be involved with the launch hype. This is not hard to understand. Fire Breather says, do PC gamers actually care about these games? If they really cared, they would just buy a PS5. Yeah, guys, the PC version shot the game up to number 3 in the country, but do PC gamers really care? PC gamers bought the shit out of the game, and I'm responding to an article talking about how PC gamers bought the shit out of the game, but do PC gamers actually care about the game? I need you to put the brain back in the fridge. It's clearly not your brain. Put it back. Like, you don't know how to use it. Put it back in the fridge. One more. Ray Rod says, how is 4 million on PlayStation disappointing? But a couple 100K is a win. Again, because we're talking about launch hype and then after launch hype. With all of the hype in the world, all of the launch hype, all of the big marketing, 4 million total for a Final Fantasy game. Yes, that is disappointing. Obviously, a game selling 4 million on one platform, that alone is not unimpressive. That alone is not disappointing. But we're talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, one of the biggest games of the year, one of the biggest franchises of the year, a remake of one of the most famous games of all time. But you locked it to one platform, so it only sold 4 million. Do you know how many copies part 1 of the Final Fantasy VII Remake sold? Because it's somewhere around this range. This would be why 4 million was disappointing, my little green friend. And you know who made this a problem? Sony and Square Enix made this a problem when they decided to take a multi-platform franchise and shrink the number of available platforms down to just one, only the PS5. Because you know who really doesn't want to buy a PS5? A lot of modern gamers. They don't want the thing. That's not to say 4 million is a small number, but that is to say it is a much smaller number than before. And the reason why it's a smaller number is because you excluded other platforms in the launch hype. And that's why this is important. And also, so we disagree that 4 million is disappointing. Okay, fine, 4 million's great. But wouldn't more than 4 million be even better? Like, if 4 million is good, wouldn't 5 million, 6 million be even better than that? We're defending 4 million, so a higher number than 4 million would obviously not even need to be defended because it would obviously be good, right? Gee, I wonder how they could have made that number higher. I wonder how that number could have been higher. Such a mystery. The PlayStation loyalty to Final Fantasy is so funny to me because you boast night and day about how Final Fantasy is a PlayStation series. It's a PlayStation franchise. But then the only reason this headline exists in the first place, the only reason this news is even out, is because the PlayStation community is apparently not buying Final Fantasy the way that they act like they do. So gosh gee willikers, another day, another fucking PC port that has to fucking carry the console version. I swear. Console fanboys will shit on the PC any chance they get, and then have to somehow make it all make sense when the PC port comes in and saves their games. I swear. It's hilarious to me. It happens every single time. So, anyways, Doofus Club time. 99 cents. Hit the join button. Be a doofus. Get some emotes. Be in the Doofus Club shoutouts. Be a really cool guy like Ex Machina Gamma. One Man Riot. I cannot fucking read that other than my name, Joe, at the end, except it says Joel. It doesn't even say Joe. God damn it. At Omega Gava P, Fire Hazard 105, Ultima Jack, Epian 504, EK, Anurag Gupta, Binary Deviant, Zombie Fan, If You Read As You Gay, Klepto Penguin, Raptor 1, Bzianshi, Partial Mean 8, Wild Gamer 3001, GWXSS, Frito Sandwich, Doom, Kaiju, Rasp the Wolf, Evan Coast, Sad You Freighter, OK Toodle, Set Gaming Jungle Zone, Slim Jim, Carlos Josue Hernandez, Zaramillo, Really Zerd, Gaming with Dead People, Bender Fondue, All Games Video, Mad Rocks 2682, Neon Alec, Max Killer V2 Gaming, Biscuit 1101, Yogster, Horizon Forbidden West Remastered, Joe Raphael the Rap Pope Raphael the Rat King. I just got Joe on the brain. Am I right, boys? Jessica Shepard, Joe, I changed my mind, and Windows and Android for the win. Riki Spiral, Riki Tabby, Muskie, Techmanic, Joe, please throw me into the San Francisco Bay. No, because then I would have to go to San Francisco, and I don't want to do that. Kurumi the Steel Angel, Keep on Doofin, Smash Jump, Sergeant Jason Bond, Baron Von Vaderham, the Silver Dragon, Change my name to help Joe Patter's runtime. Cyrus, forgot to cancel, now I can't afford a motorcycle. Jutex 940, Sense Nakaki, forgot to cancel, now I can't afford membership. Hinoka's number one Saudi fan, Creed Warrior 23, Max Chev, Metro UK, Gooch, do not speak for this chap, totally insane, Vendetta Autry, Black Cobra, Vanon Vola, Voxel, the Knight of Cyper, Cloaked Onyx, Ninox, Reborn Me with the fan art, Nick, ML04, I own 6 copies of Click 2006 on Blu-ray with the fan art, Joe, your fursuit will arrive in 10 days, Wolf of Midnight, Stick Rider, the Cunt Connoisseur, Pig Venus, Kev Dog 1992, Steve Wayne Studios, Film Kraken, The Beastums, OM Gaming, Tariq Browns, Tom from Spokane, Hero Culture, Thorn Skade, Magnex, Severn Evans, Mr. Spawning 03, It's the Catalina Frickin' Wine Mixer, Pow Pow, White Trouble, Donnie Weston, Nick Donegan, God Gosson, Rogue Winter 919, Bobby Hinner, Doug, Nick Z, Grim Z, Gush Gresh, Gersh, Bzen Shishikevich, Hangman for Hire, Lid, Lol, Lad Wall, Wow, Loblio, Edge Knight 1789, Frost Crystal, Jimmy Chops, Jimmy Chops, holy fuck, Biogenesis, yeah, I camp so, Ian in Action, Floppy Pingus, Michael Musical, Mega Key, Kushka, The Scruffy Skull, Ghost Ho, Ryusagi, The JoJo 6, Fast Growth, Femtega, Raptor Tim, I'm a Steph 94, Mr. Self-Destruct, Blue Hook, Joey Masters Videos, faster than Sony does games, oh my god, help me, the Wasps have begun to attack, Snorlax and Disney ruins everything they touch, Jody Breeze, The Almond God, Max Luriz, L, Demetrius, Papagiorno, Big Advertisement, Diego Garcia, Hey, it's Maddie, Kibikins, Boofner, I American Idiot, Rebel Blood 80, Antoine Horton, Joe Vlog the Discord, right now, PS You're a Furry, discord.gg/doofus, Console Sim Steers, RDR2 is goated, change my mind, Oh no, it's Justin, Randroy, Toonie Wayne, Bloodline, not Blood and Wine. Bloodline. Jesus. Extreme the Wolf 7, Joey Scoops, Puddintain, Joe Taku. I'm the decoy from JTech TV's Doom Video. Help, Geekstar got 5090, he's gonna slap Griffin with it. Wannabe Hobo, Jidge, Westa, Registered Trademark, Remastered, Bill 310 Char, Rob C, Veg, The Groovy Banana, Curtin Allen's Pack, Scrum Master. Everybody above me is a doofus. Fact check. True. Okay. Great. We got through that together. We did it very good. Very well. Fuck. Okay, toodles.